Good morning, it's Councillor Glen, and here's my weekly update for Saturday, September the 9th. I'm actually recording this late on Friday afternoon, September 8th, but it'll be published tomorrow. And I'm in front of St. Bernadette School. It is Stittsville's newest school, and it is located at the corner of Cope and Defense in the Fernbank Crossing neighborhood, just a little bit east of Robert Grant Avenue. So they opened this week. It doesn't seem like that long ago that we were participating in the sod turning ceremony for this school. It's really been built very quickly. The sod, I think, was just going down on Monday, the day before school started. But it's great to have the school open, another school in our community. That's great. Now, I will say, I know there's been some issues around traffic safety here. We did have the city's traffic specialists out here during the week observing the flow of vehicles and school buses and pedestrians and cyclists. And there is some more signage that's coming soon. There's also going to be a count done for a crossing guard. I'm not really a fan of how this whole process works. They usually wait until a school is open before they implement many of the safety measures and so on. I wish they could do that beforehand, but anyhow, it has been evaluated, and there are some extra signage and some improvements on the way. So thank you to parents for your patience there. Overall, on school safety, no matter where you are in the neighborhood, there are a lot of parents driving to school for a number of reasons. I'll get into that in just a moment. But we have too many cars near our schools, and it's causing a lot of safety issues for kids. So first of all, if you don't have to drive through a school zone in the drop-off or pickup times, if you can leave a little bit earlier or later or find an alternate route, please do so. If you are driving through those school zones, please slow down and follow the speed limit. Be really careful for the kids in the area. Perhaps if you're dropping your kid off, park a few blocks away and walk the last little bit. It can make a big difference to reduce the amount of traffic around schools. And the other thing is, please watch for all of the no stopping and no parking signage around schools. It's not there to inconvenience you. It's for the safety of kids, to make sure kids don't get run over by vehicles, to make sure that school buses have visibility. So please obey all the signage. And yes, bylaw is out there enforcing, so please be aware of that. The reason why a lot of parents are driving to school is due to the lack of school buses right now. I was talking with Trustee Lynn Scott, and she said in the western part of Ottawa, there are 2,600 kids without a school bus. That's about a third of all students in our area, and it's meant Carmageddon around a lot of schools. So OSTA has a number of things they're working on. That's the Ottawa Student Transportation Authority. They're looking at consolidating routes. They're looking at making sure kids who said they are using school buses are actually using them. They're looking at coaches, and yes, they're also talking with OC Transpo. OC Transpo is currently helping out by delivering 76 school routes, and they're in very much engaged in discussions with OSTA about other places where OC Transpo could help out. Obviously not as useful for elementary school kids, but middle school and high school age is appropriate for OC. I understand there's some more information coming up next week, so please stay tuned for that. There's a lot happening this weekend in Stittsville. I wanted to highlight just a couple things. First of all, the Tart Festival is today on Saturday. It's at the Barn and Village Square Park at the corner of Abbott and Stittsville, Maine. This is a super popular event. Again, if you can, ride your bike or walk over, because there'll be lots of people jockeying for parking spots. There is a municipal parking lot on Stittsville, Maine, just past Pretty Pots. So that's south of Abbott Street, so that's a good option there. There's also a charity car wash on Iber Road at the fire station on Iber Road. And there's a grand opening of Unity Square. That's where the No Frills Plaza is. So lots of activities happening in our community. It was a busy week at City Hall as well. On Thursday, I participated in the launch of Payment. This is the new tap and ride program from OC Transpo. So if you've got, you no longer need a Presto to get on the bus or even pocket change. You can use a Visa or MasterCard or tap with your Apple Pay or Google Pay, and you can get on the bus or the train. There's also new fare capping, and so you can tap all day long, and you're never going to pay more than $11.25 for one day. And if you're tapping all month long, once you reach the monthly pass level, which is about $125.50, once you hit that threshold, you won't be charged anymore. You'll just be charged to that maximum. So that is fare capping, and it's just great for affordability, great for convenience. And if you want more information, please check out octranspo.com. Also at City Hall this week, our Finance Committee looked at the future of the Pretty Street Community Center. I think I've talked about this before. The building is about 65 years old and at the end of its lifespan, and it's really not in good shape. And so the committee supported a staff recommendation to declare that property surplus, and it's going to be sold for future housing with an affordable housing component. And I also directed staff to open up basically a capital planning account to rejuvenate, revitalize the Stittsville fire station, the old fire hall, which is next to the library. It's not the active fire hall that's running, but the one next to it with the big garage doors. It's currently home to the Stittsville Food Bank, and it's in need of some significant renovations. So we're going to kick off the planning process and the capital process to fund that revitalization, which is great news as well. More information on my website. Also this week, yesterday, we celebrated the official naming of Bradley Craig Park over on Cranesville Road in the Abbotsville Crossing neighborhood. This is named for the farming family that's farmed in this community for well over a century, and you'll recognize their big red barn and the old farmhouse, the Bradley Craig Farm. It's a landmark on Hazeldean Road, and we've officially named a park on their old farmstead over on Cranesville. So that was a great event. We've got some photos online. And also on Thursday, the Governor General made a call to City Hall for what's called a civic call. And councillors got a chance to say hello and a little reception with the Governor General. So that was a little bit different, a little more formal and pomp and circumstance than normal at City Hall. Also this week, super busy week in Stittsville and at City Hall. City Finance Committee supported a budget direction to staff of aiming for 2.5% on a tax increase for 2024. This gives the staff a framework to start drafting a budget that we're then going to be able to dig into in the month of November and December. And at Planning and Housing Committee on Wednesday, we approved the affordable housing plan for the next 2 or 3 years, tens of millions of dollars going into a number of really big and exciting projects. Of course, it's making a small dent in the affordable housing needs, and we are working in ways that we can boost that budget on a local level, and also looking for extra funding from the provincial and federal government so we can build more affordable housing spaces. There are about 11,000 people right now on the waiting list for affordable housing, and they can wait several years for those spots to come available. So there's an urgent need for more housing in our city, and in particular affordable housing. I've got information about all of this on my website, and if you do check out my website, some highlights there. I wrote a piece about apartments and why we're seeing so many applications for apartment buildings in Stittsville, so check that out. It's a long read. I think it's about 12-minute read, somebody said, so that's a long read. Usually our stuff is shorter. There's a bunch of posts about various construction projects that have started up in our area, different impacts for communities, numbers you can call if you have any issues, so check that out. And there's information about some upcoming open houses about the city's update to the zoning bylaw. So if you're into planning and policy in the city, check those out. I think the first one is next Saturday, but all the information's on my website, glengower.ca. And I think that's it. Covered a lot of ground there today. One more reminder, we have added at my ward office at Cardell Rec, right in front of my office, there is a pamphlet holder, and we've added multi-lingual emergency preparedness pamphlets. So if you'd like to get your family ready for the next natural weather disaster or any number of potential emergency situations, and you're looking for some tips and how to, go to my office. We've got English, French, and about half a dozen other languages as well that you can pick up for free. All right, that's it for me this week. I hope you have a great weekend. Maybe I'll see you at the Tart Festival later on today. Take care.